Is this thing on? Hello? Oh, much better, I think. So, what now? This video might not make any sense unless you've seen my last two videos, but hi, if you're new here, my name's Amadi, and almost a year ago, my mom passed away. I was 25 at the time, and I have since turned 26, and I have felt both like a full-fledged adult and child all in the same process. 25 felt entirely too young to lose a parent, and yet the day she died, I felt like I was sprung into being a full-fledged adult while also being a child because I was grieving my childhood. During that process of grieving my childhood, I've had so many eye-opening realizations, not only about me, but about the world around me. Some of which you might have noticed I touched a little bit on in my last video. That wasn't my short film. But my biggest realization was that I have lost sight of my inner child and her goals and aspirations, her dreams, what she wanted to do. And that's not something that I was ready to let go of. If anything, I think being in such proximity to death and losing the most important person in my life showed me that life is incredibly too short. If I cry at any point in this video, I'm sorry. But life is too short. And there was one saying that I always told my mom growing up, which was, I don't want to live a life in which I'm not happy and I'm not doing absolutely what I want to do. And having that come back to me was a blessing. Now, I've always had the luxury of knowing who I am from an early age. I'll be very honest. I think the last part of my identity that I pieced together was me coming out and coming into my queerness. But prior to that, I pretty much have always been the weird girl, the person who doesn't mind being honest, who takes chances, who loves open-heartedly, who is always in the corner making weird noises, dancing, laughing, giggling. I love to live. I love to be free. Those are simple things that I want. And somewhere throughout the process in high school, I learned that I wanted to pursue film. And that is where my love for filmmaking kind of grew because I took part in a program that allowed me to learn about the process of filmmaking. Prior to that, I had only ever watched films with my family and friends, obviously. And it's crazy to think because I'm looking next to me right now and I have a collection of over 500 DVDs that my family and I built over the years since I was very, very little. I decided that I wanted to be a film editor and I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to make a difference. If you can think of Spike Lee, he's someone that very much inspires me. Although I don't want to be a director, I do love what he does with his films in terms of bringing reality into fiction and making people think a little bit deeper on just the basics of life. As you guys know, over the years, especially the last 4 or 5 years after graduating and moving back home, I made many excuses for myself. I struggled watching my mom decline. My mental health was in disarray. It was a constant roller coaster. I was up and down frequently. And I came up with about every excuse under the sun as to why it was not the right time. And again, processing and grieving, I've learned that no time is ever the right time. But if I want to die happy and I want to accomplish what I want to accomplish in life, I can't risk to wait. I didn't show you guys a lot of my life in the last few years, and part of that was because I was not where I wanted to be and I didn't want to showcase that to you guys. But in reality, when I look back and I think about it, I think it would have been so much better if I had just been honest and shared my journey with you guys because it's real. I felt like every time I had turned on the TV to watch YouTube or my laptop to watch YouTube or even TikToks, it's always to escape what I have going on. It's always to mindlessly scroll and to watch things and to just fall into a new realm, right? A new world. Now, that is absolutely not how I want my life to be. I really don't want to always feel like I need to escape my own life and therefore turn on my TV, turn on my phone, and watch someone else's life. And similarly, I feel like I don't want to come on here and portray the perfect life for you guys to aspire to. I want to come on here and be open and honest and create connection. I want to have a community. I want to build that. And I also want people to feel like they're not alone. When I started my YouTube, that was essentially my goal, was to create a space where people felt like they can come, they can laugh, they knew they're not alone. Just space for us, for the weirdos, for the gays, and now for the people chasing their dreams. All this to say, I'm back. I won't be posting videos that I posted in the past. I will be posting videos that feel more authentic and true to myself, because that's what I want to give you guys coming back to my platform. So if you knew the old me, I'm grateful you did. Please stay for the new me. I think you'll really like her. Probably a lot better than the old me. And that's not to say the old me is completely dead, but I do feel in part in grieving that there is such a thing as the you before losing your person dies. I definitely have felt like in this process of grieving my mom, I also died. The me that had a mom feels very distant, unfortunately. I still cherish so many memories and moments that I will hold in my heart forever, and not a day goes by that I don't think about my mother, but the me before her, when she was here, feels like another me. She feels different. And so with the new me, I just really wanted to be so intentional about everything that I do, because again, life's too short. So over the last few months, I decided that despite losing my biggest support, I was going to carry on for her. My mom was my #1 fan, and I know that that's a privilege that not everyone has, but she truly did support me in absolutely everything that I wanted to do. And I had always told her that I wanted to do my master's and wanted to do it in London, that I wanted to move abroad. So it should come as no surprise that now that I'm in this journey, I decided to apply for my master's in London. Yep. There's so many things that led up until this part, so many parts of my journey that I really had to change. So many steps that I did from quite literally the end of last year up until this point, and it's been a wild ride. Now, that being said, I'm not going to give away the details of my plan, but just know that there was a plan A and a plan B. Why? Because I'm a very meticulous organizer. I decided the best way that I can carry on for my mom is to live the life that I wanted to live, because one, I knew she would be absolutely 100% in support of that, and also knowing that she is my guardian angel and that she watches over me and she's always with me in spirit, she is going to freak out over being on this journey with me, and I'm so happy that I can at least give her that. So I've done many things. I started being very conscientious about my spending habits as well as everything that I own. I started decluttering a lot of things, getting myself into the mindset of abundance, and also that all the blessings would come my way, knowing that I will have to make this journey and I will have to move inevitably. I definitely wanted to cut back on the things that I have so that I would be less things for me to eventually move with, as well as, that being said, being mindful of what I purchase and what I bring into my home, because I don't want to keep consuming things that I'll struggle to part with later. So a lot of the mentalities I had going into purchasing this year have been, is this something that I need? Am I going to take it to London with me? So as you can imagine, I've cut down on a lot of my spending. I don't I don't think I've bought a lot of insignificant things. I've also been able to get rid of a lot of old clothes and old things that I don't necessarily need, whether that be bringing it to like a Plato's Closet, Crossroads, Buffalo Exchange, etc. I also have my Depop, so there's things like that. I also bought a new laptop so that I can keep in with my journey of editing, and also knowing that I wanted to apply for my master's, I did need to create a short film, or at least I felt like I needed to create a short film just to get myself back into that journey. So my short film is the last thing that I posted on my YouTube, and the video before that was the video that I literally first did before I did my short film, just to get myself in the right direction and put that pep in my step to creating again, because I hadn't created for so long. And I think in part that was what was making me a little bit antsy and a little bit miserable, especially looking back at how I wasn't really feeling fulfilled in what I was doing. I created my own digital portfolio after creating my film, which I did write, direct, act in, and edit. It was pretty much me with the help of my friend from high school, Angel, who is also one of my best friend's sisters, and she also studied and took the same program that I did as well, and also continued her studying in film as well, and she's incredibly talented, so I really appreciated her help on this project. And yeah, I don't think it is the best project in the world, just because I'm hypercritical of myself and feel like I could have done a bit better, but I feel like having the timeline that we had and having just one extra hands on deck to help me, I'm so incredibly proud of how the project came out, and I really hope that you take the opportunity to watch that video after this one. It will be the last posted video before this. I wanted to be more consistent with swimming and with reading this year, just because the last few years I have been doing these things, but I haven't been very consistent with it just because of time. For those of you who don't know, I had 2 jobs that I was working for about 2.5 years. It was taking a toll on me, and I feel like after experiencing everything that I experienced last year, I really struggled with the burnout. I just could not hack it anymore. It was very intense, and it even more so solidified to me that this is not the path for me, that me having the jobs that I have and working them was just falling into complacency and climbing up the corporate ladder, which are things that we're told that we need to do in order to be successful and make a living for ourselves. But what is the success if I'm not happy? That's just the thing that I kept coming back to, which is why I decided that it's just not for me, and I would rather keep trying at what I ultimately feel like is a happy and fulfilling life for myself. I've also been a little bit of a helping hand in trying to work on my own creative projects besides my short film, so more things to come hopefully, as well as I have been sober now for almost 7 months. It's been since the middle of December, like right before Christmas was the last time I had ever picked up a drink. I've never done drugs, I've never smoked or anything. I had been a social drinker previously. Every time that me and my friends would go out, you know, I'd have a cocktail, or we'd go out to the clubs and that. Obviously, you know, we'd drink, have fun. There were many times in the last couple of years that I felt that I wasn't being me, because I would end up in the space where I would get drunk, and I really didn't like the stories that I would hear waking up from that. And above all that, that's just something that my mom struggled with when she was alive, and that was something that I felt like I could easily do for her, considering I wasn't much of a drinker to begin with. So I've been sober now for almost 7 months, which I'm very proud of. I decided to start with this year and then see how I go from there. That being said, as you can see, I have considered where I am in life, where I want my life to go, in what direction I'm trying to move into, and what I'm trying to make for myself. My goals for this year are extremely simple. I want to read 20 books by the end of this year. I want to swim at least 2 to 3 times a week, or at the very least be consistent. So as long as I'm being active and out there about 2 to 3 times a week, I'll be very happy. And obviously get my master's and move to London. I want to make a whole year sober from alcohol, and I want to create more than I consume. As you can see, I'm being much more intentional about the things that I'm doing, and that's pretty much the goal of this year as well as my life moving forward. I just want to bring intentionality into absolutely everything that I'm working on. So it only felt right to share my journey now with you guys as I'm grieving, as I'm altering my life literally altogether, and to share the ups and the downs with you because it's real, it's raw, it's authentic, and it's me. So if you're interested at all in this journey of me changing my life and moving and doing all of these things and grieving and all the emotional aspects that come with that, please stay. Help me build a community of people who want better for themselves, who want a safe space, who can get silly sometimes, as well as talk about the real important things in life. My name is Amari. I'm 26. My mom passed away, and this is how I'm changing my life to live authentically, happy, and intentionally. Thanks for watching, and thanks for joining my journey. I'll see you in the next one.